There's a particular saying that's used in the sustainment of hope. It's not over till it's over. A sports-themed variation on it would be, the game's not over till it's over. Yet another way to express this idea is in life, the game begins now. Always now. To use another sports metaphor, the clock starts now, each and every time we become present to the present moment. Too often we bring any unresolved baggage along into our present moment, creating more of the past we cannot let go of, robbing us of the ability to be fully present in the now. We have a preoccupation with holding on to a particular story about what we think or feel happened to us and what it means. We must choose to take that first step towards awareness and healing unresolved emotional and psychological trauma, or continue holding on to our story. It is our choice, and we should not judge ourselves if we are not ready to unburden ourselves of our baggage. Though we are sharing a collective experience as one with all that is within the field we may call the universe, that which we call God, we each have our own journey to make, our own lessons to learn. Life continues to give us opportunities to heal, to grow, and evolve. We are all at varying stages of spiritual evolution, as well as various levels of healing, or lack thereof. This is the reason judgment has no place, not of ourselves or other people, no matter how much our egos think they or we deserve it. As cliched as it may be to say hurt people, it is nevertheless true. These are all the people, oftentimes ourselves, that we observe and may label as bad. The bad guys in our lives, whether they be parents, siblings, partners, friends, bosses, co-workers, or complete strangers. The truth is they are doing the best they can at whatever stage of their journey they are at, given what decisions they've made and all that has happened in their lives from the moment of their birth, based on a combination of their environment and all the events beyond their control that they've experienced, along with their decision to not seek or be incapable of seeking healing, perhaps whatever their souls may have agreed to experience before being born. All of this makes them who they are at the time you interact with them. Reserving judgment does not mean you cannot or should not express your own belief or opinion that may contradict the ideas of others, or in some cases, oppose what they do. But judging them for their badness only serves to make one blind to one's own pain and lessens one's capability to feel empathy. As bad as they appear to be, they are part of humanity too, susceptible to the same pain and traumas that come with life experience, which is actually the only way we grow. For learning and spiritual evolution could not happen without this pain and suffering. They, just like all the rest of us, are playing their part to the best of their ability, even if it doesn't appear that way to us. Life continually gives us chances to heal, grow, and evolve. It's up to each of us to recognize them in our own lives. It's not that we cannot oppose injustice when we witness it. During the course of the classic 1980s film The Karate Kid, we see that it is not only the protagonist Daniel who needs healing, but his mentor, Mr. Miyagi, who needs healing as well, as he had stopped truly living after the death of his wife and child during World War II, choosing instead to close himself off to life and to connection. Though he had lived for many years in isolation, remaining emotionally closed off to life and meaningful human interaction, the universe presented him with a chance to heal through the arrival of Daniel. In the television series Cobra Kai, which takes place decades after the original Karate Kid trilogy, it is now Johnny, Daniel's original nemesis, who has become the main protagonist of the story, and the audience gets a glimpse into the trauma he'd suffered as a child. This serves to retrospectively show that in the past, he could only be who he was made to be at that time, and was simply doing the best he could, given his own personal circumstances, making him not a bad guy, but just a human being like the rest of us. Furthermore, Johnny is given a pupil just like Mr. Miyagi was given Daniel, and through his mistakes with his pupil and his own son, Johnny begins to see how much trauma he still held from his own childhood, inspiring him to seek healing. After all, no mistakes, no growth. And God is always giving us opportunities to grow and evolve, if we recognize them and take them. Instead of coming from a place of condemnation, we can choose to come from a place of having such love for humanity and all life. We cannot stand by and allow harm to come to another living being, and we help others by trying to prevent them from being harmed. In this way, we can stand up to injustice without condemning the human being committing it, without lowering our vibration to that of the person or people who have forgotten or failed to recognize our humanity, and indeed their own, and in forgetting, have allowed fear to project the false perception of otherness onto others, which results in cruelty and violence. In the original Karate Kid film, Johnny is the antagonist to Daniel, causing him much suffering and pain. Yet Daniel's mentor, Mr. Miyagi, stops Johnny from continuing to hurt Daniel, but without judgment, recognizing there are no bad students, only bad teachers. Extraordinary leaders like Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. used love in their quest to uplift humanity from oppression, not by opposing oppression with condemnation and judgment, but by opposing injustice with love, forgiveness, and compassion, which are the only true agents of change. Love holds the highest vibrational frequency, dominating all others. When we love, we generate a large field around ourselves, emanating from our heart. The more we love, the larger the field. When we fight injustice by judging others, we are lowering our own vibrational frequency to match that of the oppressors, like fighting fire with fire. However, to fight using the weapon of love is to use a force upon which nothing else can dominate. It is the weapon that can create miracles, the weapon that makes us compassionate, and choose to make sacrifices for the sake of those we love, whether they be family, friends, or humanity in general. This is a common theme for protagonists of Christ motif-themed films, like Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars, or Neo in the Matrix series, where they sacrifice themselves for the sake of others. Another such example illustrating the protagonist's willingness to make a sacrifice is the third installment of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, when the character Aragorn looks from the overwhelming hordes of the orc army that mean certain death, and then looks back to his smaller group of warriors, and with a tear in his eye, simply says, "For Frodo." That's love. We need not have to sacrifice our very lives to love others, yet we can make other kinds of sacrifices for others out of love. We can oppose injustice and help others with love in our hearts. We can choose to forgive others and even ourselves out of love, and continually choose to be reborn into the miracle of the present moment of life.